Good evening, students. Now I would invite Arun sir to start the session.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, students. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Good
Hi,
evening,
hi,
sir.
hi, everyone. Good evening. Yeah, all right. So, students, today we will do some problems on vectors, and we'll do some problems on vectors, and then we'll also discuss this paper. There are 5 questions in physics. I mean, basic mathematics. Most of the students have gone wrong, so I would like to discuss that paper. All right, there are only 5 questions. We'll do it at the end. At the end. All right, let's get started. All right. Now, I've got first, I've got a vector, a constant vector v naught, and a vector which is variable in magnitude at an angle of 150 degrees with the horizontal. Right, so I've got two vectors. I have to find out Vx such that is minimum, such that v naught plus Vx, the sum of these two vectors should be minimum. I have to find out Vx such that sum should be minimum. Last time we have seen difference is minimum. Now let us do sum should be minimum. All right. So how do you go about it? If this is 150, this is 30 degrees. I want to add these two vectors. So I'll slide this over here. So this is Vx along this line. This is my sum, R naught. If Vx is this much, this is my R naught. Now R naught is supposed to be minimum. That means my Vx should be somewhere here. I drop a perpendicular. This should be my Vx. And this angle is 30 known. Now can you tell me what is Vx? And what is R naught? What is the sum? Magnitude of the sum, and also what is Vx? I've drawn the geometry. Once the geometry is clear, answer is very evident. All right, answer is very simple. Geometry is the only difficult part of the problem. In vectors, so students, can you tell me what is Vx from this geometry? So that R naught is minimum. Sum is minimum. If this is one vector, this is the other vector. Closing side is nothing but the sum. Closing side of the triangle is nothing but the sum. So this sum is to be minimum means I have to drop a perpendicular from this point to this line, along which my Vx is varying. Magnitude is varying. I'll get Vx such that, Vx such that R naught is minimum. So what is Vx from this triangle? This is a right angle triangle. So Vx by V naught is cos theta, cos 30. So can you tell me what is Vx, students?
Root 3 by 2 V naught.
All right. Gayatri says root 3 by 2 V naught. How about others? Rakshit, what do you say? Rakshit, are you there? Rakshit, last time also you were not responding. Are you there? Akshit is absent. He's just logged in and he was disappeared. All right. All right, let's go further. Now, there are some problems I would like to solve. First problem is, it says, all right, first problem says the maximum. There are two vectors. Two vectors are given. I have to find the magnitude and magnitude of the vectors. They are such that their maximum sum is equal to 10 and minimum. When is the sum minimum? When the vectors are opposite, anti-parallel, is 6. When they are parallel to each other, I'll get the maximum sum, which is 10. When they're anti-parallel to each other, I'll get minimum sum, which is 6. Given. I have to find out vectors A and B. A, B. So I can write A plus B is equal to 10 and B minus A is equal to 6. So I'll add these two. I'll get 2B is equal to 16, B is equal to 8, and A is equal to 2. Now, can you solve these two equations? Find out A and B. Solve these two equations and find out A and B. I'll write it bigger. A plus B is equal to 10. B minus A is
8
equal to
and
6.
2, sir.
Sorry?
8 and 2. B value is 8 and A value is 2.
All right. Thank you. That's good. So B is equal to 8. A is equal to 2. The question is, what will be the resultant of these two vectors when they are at an angle of 90 degrees? What is the resultant when they are at an angle of 90 degrees? When the angle between two vectors is 90, what is the resultant?
V naught root 3. Root 2, sir.
No, that is when both the vectors are equal. V naught root 2 is when both the vectors are equal. I've got two equal in magnitude. Then I'll get V naught root 2. But here both are different, 8 and 2. So one is 8, one is 2. So resultant would be 8 square plus 2 square under root.
Root 64. 68, sir.
Right. Root 68 is the answer. All right. Yeah, let's go for the next question. There are two equal vectors, equal in magnitude. The resultant is same as one of these vectors. So there are two vectors given. I'm telling you the question. There are two vectors of equal magnitude. This is, let's say, theta. The resultant is also again of equal magnitude, V naught. So what should be theta? Resultant is also equal to one of the vectors. So all the resultant and two vectors are of same magnitude. So what should be theta? Can you try this? I'll give you an idea. What we have to do is, let the resultant be R. I know R is equal to square root of V naught square plus V naught square plus 2 V naught cos theta. Now I said R is also equal to V naught. I square on both the sides, solve for theta. That's it. Can you solve for theta? I know resultant is this one. And resultant is equal to V naught. V naught gets cancelled out throughout. All that remains is cos theta naught, equation cos theta naught, and some constants. How to find out cos theta naught? Theta naught. Yeah, what is theta naught here? Quick. There are 6 more problems.
60.
Okay, Gayatri has got an answer. Gayatri, you're almost there. I think you got cos theta is equal to half. But be careful. Did you get half or minus half? If at all the answer is 60, you can verify it. Gayatri, if the answer was 60, for V naught and V naught at an angle of 60, what is the resultant? V naught root 3, right? We know that.
Yes, sir.
It's V naught root 3.
Minus half of what, sir? I
Ah,
thought
right.
it as
Yeah, cos theta is equal to minus half means theta is equal to?
120.
Right. That's right. That's right. So I'll get two vectors at an angle of 120 degrees will give me a resultant of equal in magnitude to both the vectors, to either of the vectors. All right. So I square on both the sides. So V naught square gets cancelled out. I take V naught square common, that goes away. Cos theta naught is equal to minus 1 by 2. Theta naught is equal to 120 degrees. Hope this is clear. Now look at the next question. Next question says there are two vectors whose magnitudes are in the ratio of 3 is to 5. All right. Let's say F1, F2. F1 by F2 is 3 by 5. And the resultant angle between them is 60 degrees. And the resultant is 25. Ratio between two vectors is 3 is to 5. And the resultant is 25. Find the force, find the vectors. How to find out F1 and F2, or let's say V1 and V2 vectors. Now V1 and V2, let's say right V1 and V2, otherwise we are getting confused with forces. So I've got two vectors V1 and V2. The ratio of V1 and V1 and V2 is 3 is to 5. And resultant is 25 at an angle of 60 degrees. So the angle between the vectors is 60 degrees. I have to find V1 and V2. Right. I'll initiate this thought process. Let's say this is 3x. So this is 5x. Right. So 25 is equal to under root of 3x square plus 5x square plus 2 into 3x into 5x cos 60. Solve for x. That's it. You understood what I did? I know the ratio of this is to 3 is to 5. So if I take this as 3x, this will be 5x. Resultant is 25. So R naught is equal to V1 square plus V2 square plus 2V1 V2 cos theta. V1 square is 3x square, 3x whole square plus 5x whole square plus 2 into 3x into 5x into cos angle between them, which is 60. Given is 60. Solve for x and you'll get vectors 3x and 5x. Students, I want you to respond, solve for x and tell me the answer. Find out 3x and 5x. Students, are you all doing?
Yes, sir. But the answer
All
is
right.
not getting.
All right.
I'm
Go ahead.
getting.
Go ahead. Yeah. What did you get? X as?
I got an equation.
Uh-huh. Okay. Let's not square on both the sides because you've got x square in throughout. I'll just get us equation in x square here. Cos 60 is 1 by 2. So this 2 and this 2 get cancelled out. But 9 plus 25 is how
34.
much?
34x square.
Yes, that's right. So 9x square plus 25x square plus 15x square under root is 25.
Yes,
So
sir.
25 is equal to, how much is this?
34x square plus 15x.
49 or 44? 49. See, 15 plus 9 is 24. 24 and 25 is 49. Right? 25 plus 15 is 40. 40 plus 9 is 49. 49x square is 25, which is nothing but 7x. 25.
25 by 7.
Okay. Let us take this as 28. That becomes simpler. Let that be 28, students. Let the resultant be 28. So calculation becomes simple. All
4.
right.
4, sir.
So x is equal to 4. Correct. Now what are the vectors now? If x is equal to 4, what is this vector?
12.
12. This vector?
20.
Right. So two vectors are 12 and 20. 12 units and 20 units. If the resultant is 28 at an angle of 60, then the ratio is 3 is to 5, you've got 12 and 20. All right. Now next one is a good question. All right. Next one is a very good question. Understand that question carefully. I've got two vectors, resultant of which is perpendicular to one of the vectors. All right. I've got two vectors, A and B, or V1 and V2, the resultant of which is perpendicular to one of the vectors. And magnitude of that is half the other vector. All right. See, I've got two vectors, V1 and V2. Resultant of both is perpendicular to V1, and magnitude of resultant is half that of V2. I have to find the angle between two vectors. Let's draw the diagram. If you just draw the diagram, it's clear. It's done. I'll repeat the question. I've got two vectors, V1 and V2. Let the angle be theta. Theta is what I have to find out. The resultant of V1 and V2, let that be R0, is perpendicular to V1, one of the vectors. And magnitude of R0 is half that of V2. You have to find the angle between V1 and V2. All right. If you just draw the geometry, things become very simple. Did you get the question, students? Question अंदर कर दो इंदा?
Yes, sir.
No?
Yes, sir.
All right, all right. You said yes, okay. Now look at this question. I've got vector V1. Another vector, if it is like this, let's say somewhere here, let's say somewhere here, resultant will be like this somewhere here. Resultant will be somewhere here, all right? But this angle is not 90. Resultant is supposed to be 90 to this one, right? That means my vector V2 should be at an angle of more than 90. Only then my resultant can be perpendicular to V1. Is this clear? Why I have taken it as obtuse angle and let this be theta? If this is V2, this is V2 by 2. That's what the question mentioned. R0 is perpendicular to V1 and it is half the magnitude of V2. Is the diagram clear?
Yes, sir. Theta is 30 degrees.
30. Think again, think again. I appreciate that you were quick, but think again. Cos theta is V2 by 2 by V2. Cos theta half vastundi.
$60.
All right. Bhavana, I'll repeat the question for you. Question అర్థమైందా భావన?
Yes, sir.
ఓకే. ఇప్పుడు సొల్యూషన్ అర్థం కాలేదా?
అవును సార్.
చూడండి. See, it is this way. If one vector is like this and other vector is like this and this is the angle between them, my resultant is somewhere here. This is my alpha. Angle which is resultant makes it V1. But I said this resultant is making an angle of perpendicular to V1. It is perpendicular to V1. It is making an angle of 90 degrees with V1. That means my resultant is somewhere here. That is my other vector should be somewhere here. So other vector should be obtuse at an angle of obtuse angle to V1. ఇది 90 ఉండాలంటే this V2 should be at an angle of obtuse angle as measured from V1. Is this okay?
Yes, sir.
Now, if this and also question said resultant of magnitude of the resultant is half that of V2. It is perpendicular to V1 and half that of V2. I have to find the angle between two vectors.
45 degrees, sir.
Okay. 45. Can you tell me what equation are you using? Cos theta or sin theta?
Cos theta.
Right. Cos theta is right. So cos theta is equal to V2 by 2 by V2. V2 gets cancelled out. I'll get 1 by 2. When is cos theta 1 by 2?
60 degrees.
60 degrees.
60 degrees. So theta is 60 degrees. But what is the angle between two vectors? 90 plus 60. నాకు theta 60 వచ్చింది. But angle between two vectors is 90 plus 60.
సార్ అది ఫార్ములా ఎట్లా వచ్చింది సార్ ఫార్ములా కాస్ థీటాది
ఇది ఆపోజిట్ బై బేస్ బై హైపోటెన్యూస్ కదా. కాస్ థీటా ఒక ట్రయాంగిల్ తీసుకుంటే రైట్ యాంగిల్ ట్రయాంగిల్ ఇది థీటా అనుకుంటే ఇది బేస్ ఇది హైపోటెన్యూస్ అనుకుంటే వాట్ ఇస్ కాస్ థీటా ఫ్రమ్ ట్రిగ్నోమెట్రీ బేసిక్ ట్రిగ్నోమెట్రీ?
అడ్జసెంట్ బై హైపోటెన్యూస్.
కరెక్ట్. అడ్జసెంట్ ఎంత? అడ్జసెంట్ ఎంత ఉంది ఇక్కడ ఈ ట్రయాంగిల్ తీసుకుంటే? ఈ ట్రయాంగిల్ లో అడ్జసెంట్ ఎంత ఉంది?
V2 by 2 resultant it is.
కరెక్ట్. V2 by 2 రిజల్టెంట్ ఆర్ నాట్ బై V2. ఇప్పుడు అర్థమైంది ఎలా వచ్చింది? So V2 gets cancelled out, I'll get 1 by 2. Theta is nothing but cos theta is 1 by 2. Theta is equal to 60 degrees. Now, if theta is 60, what is the angle between two vectors? It is not 60. It is 90 plus 60, 150.
150 degrees.
Yeah, that's right. 150. Okay, now okay, now there is another one. There are three vectors. Sum of the vectors is 0. All right, A plus B plus C is 0. Conditions given in the problem. A plus B plus C equal to 0. So A bar plus B bar plus C bar is 0. And magnitude of A and B is, let's say, x naught. Then magnitude of C is x naught root 2. Two are of equal magnitude. And third one is of magnitude of x naught root 2. Root 2 times of one of the vectors. I have to find the angle between two vectors. I have to find angle between A, B, and C. I have to find angle between all the three vectors. A, B, B, C, C, A. Again, we just draw the geometry. It's done. Is the question clear? A plus B plus C, A bar plus B bar plus C bar is 0. That means I know the vectors. They are forming a triangle, a closed triangle. A and B are of equal magnitude, let's say x naught. Then C is of root 2 times of x naught root 2. Find the angle between each pair of vectors, A and B, B and C, C and A. All right?
Sir, one
Yes,
is
Bhavna?
45 degrees and another one is 90 degrees and another one is 45 degrees.
That's good. That's absolutely good. Good, Bhavna. But how did you do it? Diagram draw chesava?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Excellent. Okay, look at this. I've got one vector as A, B, and C. A, B, and C. It's not equilateral. I don't know what the angle between them is. All right, I have to find out the angles. But A and B are x naught, and this is x naught root 2. When will that be possible? When this angle is 90, x naught and x naught, the hypotenuse becomes x naught root 2. When this angle is 90, that means this angle is 90. So between A and B it is 90.
Yes, sir.
Now, if this is B, this is A, and this is C. So angle between A and B is 90, that's fine. But what is the angle between B and C? This angle is 45.
45
But this
degrees.
angle is, no, this angle is, I want this angle, right? See, two vectors ఇలా ఉన్నాయి. What is the angle between these two vectors? ఇదా ఇదా
135, sir.
1 or 2 ఇదా ఇదా
1.
No, 2. See, I have to make them co-initial first. Co-initial చేసుకోవాలి. Then this angle is my angle between two vectors. Right? So 2 is angle between two vectors. అదే co-initial vectors ఉంటే ఇలా, then this is the angle between two vectors. But two vectors are not co-initial, let's say, like they are like this.
Took this call, sir.
ఇప్పుడు ఇది తీసుకోవాలి 135. ఏంటి భావన ఏం అడిగారు?
Co-initial ఎందుకు తీసుకోవాలి?
యాంగిల్ బిట్వీన్ టూ వెక్టర్స్ ఎలా డిఫైన్ చేసాం మనము? టూ వెక్టర్స్, ఒక వెక్టర్ ఇలా ఉంది, ఇంకొక వెక్టర్ ఇలా ఉంది. వాట్ ఇస్ యాంగిల్ బిట్వీన్ దీస్ టూ వెక్టర్స్? ముందు కోఇనిషియల్ చేస్తాను. దిస్ ఇస్ డిఫైన్డ్ యాజ్ యాంగిల్ బిట్వీన్ టూ వెక్టర్స్ కదా?
Yes, sir.
అంటే ముందు కోఇనిషియల్ చేసుకోవాలి కదా? అదే లెట్ us say I've got one more vector like this. This is not the angle between two vectors. I have to make them co-initial first. I can either draw this way. So this is my angle between two vectors. అదే ఒక వెక్టర్ ఇలా ఉందనుకుందాం, ఇది ఆల్ఫా. Now what is the angle between two vectors? Or let's say this is 60 degrees. What is the angle between these two vectors? ముందు కోఇనిషియల్ చేసుకోవాలి. దీన్ని స్లైడ్ చేసి ఇలా ఇక్కడ తెచ్చుకుంటా. So this will be 120. So angle between these two vectors is 120, not 60.
Yes, sir.
అలానే ఇక్కడ కూడా దే ఆర్ నాట్ కోఇనిషియల్. ఇది 45, కోఇనిషియల్ చేస్తే ఇది 135 అవుతుంది. All right. Now what is the angle between A and C? This angle is 45. But what is the angle between A and C? This is the angle. 135. Yes, that's right, Fatima. Is it okay, Bhavna? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Yes, sir.
ఆ యాంగిల్ చూపించడానికి ప్రాబ్లం తీసుకున్నాను. యాంగిల్ కన్ఫ్యూజన్ వెళ్ళిపోవాలని. ఇప్పుడు వెళ్ళిపోయింది కదా, there is no confusion between what is the angle between two vectors, right?
Yes, sir.
You should make them co-initial. Then whatever the angle you are getting, that is the angle between two vectors. First make them co-initial. Okay. Now let's go for one more. Okay, there are two vectors, 5 and 12, 5 units and 12 units. All right. Now, what should be the angle between? This is look and say question. వినగానే చెప్పొచ్చు ఇది. What should be the angle between two vectors for the resultant should be to be 17 units. ఒకటేమో 12 ఉంది, ఒకటేమో 5 ఉంది. ఒకటి 12 units ఉంది, ఇంకొకటి 5 units ఉంది. దిస్ యాంగిల్ ఇస్ వేరింగ్. సో 5 units ఇలా ఉంది. యాంగిల్ వేరీ చేస్తున్నా. నాకు రిజల్టెంట్ షుడ్ బి 17. సో వాట్ షుడ్ బి ద యాంగిల్?
120 degrees.
If it is 120, let us see what happens if it is 120.
120
is
degrees.
complicated. Yeah, 120 is complicated. See, let's see what happens if it is 120. I should get 5 square plus 12 square plus 12 into 2 into 5 into 12 into cos 120. This is what I get at an angle of 120. This is definitely not 17. All right. 17 कब आएगा? When do you get 17? See, 12 plus 5 is 17, right? So you are getting maximum. Or I can do it this way. 17 square, 17 is equal. I can do it this way. Or there's a quick shortcut. Look and say 17 square is equal to 5 square plus 12 square plus 2 into 5 into 12 cos theta. I'll find out theta from here. This is one way of doing it. Or I know 5 plus 12. When will you get the maximum resultant? When will you get the sum as a plus b? When the angle between them is 0. When
0.
this 5
Yes, sir.
and 12 are in the same direction. Then I get, when do I get 7?
0.
When do I get 7?
When cos theta is 1.
No, I should get 7 as resultant. Forget about this. I should get 7 as the resultant. What is 7? 12 minus 5 is 7. So when do I get 7? When 5 is exactly opposite to 12. So angle should be 180. Is it clear? When both are 0, when the angle is 0, when both are in the same direction parallel to each other, 5 plus 12 you get 17. In this case, you'll get 7 towards right. This is also towards right. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
So now look at the third case where
Malley
it says
sir.
in Bhavna.
సార్ మళ్ళీ ఒకసారి చెప్పరా సార్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేయాలి
ఓకే నేను ఏమంటున్నానంటే I've got 2 vectors కదా 5 ఇంకా 12 2 vectors ఉన్నాయి 5 plus 12 17 వస్తుంది. He's asking when will the resultant be 17? For what angle theta between 2 vectors is the resultant 17? నేను ఎలా చేయొచ్చు ఇది? ఆ ఈక్వేషన్ యూస్ చేయొచ్చు. R square R is equal to root of 5 square plus 12 square plus 2 into 5 into 12 cos theta. ఇది యూస్ చేసి నేను theta కనుక్కోవచ్చు. This is one way of doing. But if you think
Sir,
in
can
a,
we use Sir, can we use other numbers than 5 or 12?
okay, we'll go for 10 and 10 and 2. I'll go for
7.
10 and 2. I have 10 and 2, 10 and 2 units. I want the sum to be 12. So what should be the angle? So the sum is 12.
180 degrees సార్
12 ఉండాలి 12 sum రావాలి.
120 degrees?
0.
Acha. Then when you get 8, when is the resultant 8?
When it is 180 degrees, we'll get 8. Sir.
When you get 180 degrees, you'll get 8. When it is 0 degrees, you'll get 12. See, 2 is this way, 10 is also this way. So you'll get 12. Both are in the same direction, 0 degrees. When 2 is in this way, 10 is that way, angle is 180, then I get 8. Is it clear?
ఎస్ సార్
That is what I was saying. See, so they are parallel. What I mean to say is, remember, when the 2 vectors are parallel to each other, you'll get the maximum resultant. And minimum resultant you'll get when they are anti-parallel to each other. So your net resultant, general resultant will be between 8 and 12. Always. It cannot be less than 8. It cannot be more than 12. Minimum will be 8. Maximum will be 12. Maximum epudu vastundi when the angle between them is 0. Both are parallel to each other. When you get minimum when they are anti-parallel to each other, angle between them is 180 degrees. Anti-parallel to each other. So my resultant somewhere, when the angle is some theta, my resultant will be somewhere between 8 and 12. This is what I want you to remember. Common sense. Minimum 8, maximum 12. So resultant will be somewhere between 8 and 12. Minimum and maximum కదా ఒక రేంజ్ వచ్చేసింది మనకి. Minimum ఎలా వచ్చింది when they are anti-parallel. Maximum ఎలా వచ్చింది when they are parallel. When the angle is 0, maximum. When the angle is 180, minimum. When the angle is some theta, somewhere between maximum and minimum. Alright?
Sir,
Okay.
can you repeat the question again?
Sorry.
Can you repeat the question again?
Yeah. See. Okay. With this, after this, we'll go for the previous week's paper. This question says there are two vectors of magnitude 10 units and 2 units. It could be 10 centimeters, 2 centimeters, or 10 Newton, 2 Newton, anything. Some 10 units and 2 units. He says, what is the
Yeah,
angle between
okay.
them? What is the angle between them for the resultant to be 12? What is the angle between them for the resultant to be 8? Is the question. For them to be 12, 2 and 10 should align together and they should be parallel to each other. I'll get 12. For them to get 8, for me to get 8, 2 and 10 should be anti-parallel to each other. Anti-parallel means angle is 180 degrees. This is parallel. This is anti-parallel. Parallel means 0 degrees. Anti-parallel is 180 degrees. So that's the question. So the point is, you'll get maximum when they're parallel to each other, and you'll get minimum when they're anti-parallel to each other. This you have seen it using formula also. But I'm just telling you through common sense. What do I do? When they're parallel to each other, I directly add them, a plus b. When they're anti-parallel to each other, I'll just subtract them, a minus b. Okay. Okay, I'll do that. Is this clear? So my resultant will be somewhere between 8 and 12, minimum and maximum. ఇది minimum ఎప్పుడు అవుతుంది? Whenever you have any two vectors, any random vectors, two vectors ఉన్నప్పుడు, I want the minimum of minimum of the resultant, I'll get when they're anti-parallel. If I want the maximum of the resultant, I'll get when they're parallel. Parallel అంటే 0 degrees ఉన్నప్పుడు maximum వస్తుంది. Anti-parallel అంటే 180 degrees ఉన్నప్పుడు minimum వస్తుంది. So anywhere when the angle is theta, somewhere between 0 and 180, your resultant will be somewhere between 8 and 12. That is minimum and maximum. All right, that's the point I want to
Sir,
convey.
8 or 12 only the fixed point.
8 or 12?
Sir, 8 or 12 are only fixed numbers.
Yes. Yes, 8 and 12 are fixed numbers for these two vectors. For 10 and 12, for 10 and 2, 8 and 12 are fixed. But if I give you 5 and 12, then it becomes 7 to 17. If I give you 3 and 8, I get 5 to 11.
Yes, sir, I got now.
So minimum would be adding those vectors. Sorry, maximum would be sum of the vectors. Minimum would be
Anti-parallel
difference of
and
the vectors.
maximum is parallel.
Yes. Okay, students, in the mundu, Bhavna, is your doubt clear or you want me to explain something? What you're asking now?
సార్ టూ వెక్టార్స్ ఉన్నప్పుడు రిజల్టెంట్ ఏమవుతుందో సార్ ఏమవుతుంది అనేది కొంచెం
ఓకే టూ వెక్టర్స్ ఇలా ఉన్నాయి అనుకుందాము
సార్ కన్ఫ్యూజ్
ఇది టూ వెక్టర్స్ ఉన్నాయి అనుకుందాం v1 v2 నేను పారాగ్రామ్ కన్స్ట్రక్ట్ చేసుకుంటా
సార్ అవి
ఇది రిజల్టెంట్ ఉంటుంది
వెక్టార్స్ ఎండ్స్ ని జాయిన్ చేస్తే రాదా సార్ రిజల్టెంట్
అంటే దేన్ని జాయిన్ చేస్తే
సార్ ఆ టూ వెక్టార్స్ v1 v2
ఇలా కూడా చేయొచ్చు ఇది ఈ రిజల్టెంటా
అది కాదా సార్ రిజల్టెంట్
ఇది డిఫరెన్స్ బిట్వీన్ దిస్ టూ ఇది v1 మైనస్ v2 ఇది v1 ప్లస్ v2 అది ఇంకా చేయలేదు చేద్దాము ఆల్రైట్ వి విల్ కమ్ టు దట్ v1 మైనస్ v2 చేద్దాము అది కాదు రిజల్టెంట్ ఏమో డయాగనల్ దిస్ డయాగనల్ ది అదర్ డయాగనల్ ఇస్ డిఫరెన్స్ ఇన్ సమ్ ఇది సమ్ ఉంటుంది ఇది డిఫరెన్స్ ఉంటుంది ఇది v1 ప్లస్ v2 అవుతుంది ఇది v1 మైనస్ v2 అవుతుంది
ఓకే సార్
alright or v2 minus v1 you have to check okay now last week లో పేపర్ లో కొన్ని క్వశ్చన్స్ ఉండే కదా 5 క్వశ్చన్స్ ఉండే బేసిక్ మ్యాథ్స్ లో చాలా మందికి కొన్ని తప్పులు వచ్చాయి. ఓకే, ఐ డోంట్ నో ద నేమ్స్, బట్ ఐ జస్ట్ వాంట్ టు టెల్ యూ దట్ కొంతమంది తప్పు చేశారు. సో ఫస్ట్ వన్ వాజ్ దిస్ వన్. I've got integral 0 to a naught x minus 2 dx is equal to 0. Then what is a naught?
సరే చెప్పినప్పుడు నేను లేకుండే సార్, ఈ క్లాస్ చెప్పినప్పుడు ఈ క్లాస్ మిస్ అయింది సార్.
ఓకే ఓకే, అయితే ఒకసారి రికార్డెడ్ లెక్చర్ చూసుకో సరేనా.
ఓకే సార్, దీని గురించి ఇప్పుడు నాకు ఏం తెలియదు సార్. ఇంటికి
Okay, okay, okay. But for others, I'm doing. Again, you will have weekend exam. So previous week paper discussion చేయలేదు కదా మనం, ఆ పేపర్ డిస్కషన్ చేస్తున్నాను. 5 questions ఉన్నాయి కాబట్టి 5 minutes లో అయిపోతుంది.
ఓకే సార్.
All right. For others, because those who have attempted the exam, అంటే ఈ క్వశ్చన్ అటెంప్ట్ చేసిన వాళ్ళు ఇది అర్థం చేసుకోండి. చాలా మంది తప్పు వెళ్ళారు. ఓన్లీ 1 out of 11 students who have attempted the exam, only one student has gone right. Only 2 students have gone right. All right, but this is a very important concept. అయితే ఇప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తాం దీంట్లో, I'll draw x minus 2. ఇది y, ఇది x, ఇది y is equal to x minus 2. I'll push it towards right by 2. I have to integrate this from 0 to some point a naught such that my area under the graph is 0. Integral, definite integral అంటే ఏంటి, area under the graph కదా. This is nothing but area under the graph. For area under the graph to be 0, now that means this has to be 0. Sum of 0 to 2 and 2 to something. So I've got a point of symmetry here. My limit should be symmetric with respect to the point of symmetry. That's what you talked about. ఇది నెగటివ్ ఏరియా, ఇది పాజిటివ్ ఏరియా. ఇది నెగటివ్ పాజిటివ్ ఎలా ఉండేది, సో దీస్ టూ ట్రయాంగిల్స్ ఆర్ కాంగ్రుయెంట్ ఉండాలి. కాంగ్రుయెంట్ ఉండాలంటే ఏముండాలి, ఇఫ్ దిస్ ఇస్ 2, దిస్ షుడ్ ఆల్సో బి 2. ఇఫ్ దిస్ ఇస్ 2, a naught should be equal to 4. Is it clear? The ones who have attended the class, the ones who have attended the question, negative లేదంటే అలా అటెంప్ట్ చేయకండి. Alright, even attempt only when you are sure of it. You make that as habit. Sure అన్నప్పుడు అటెంప్ట్ చేయండి. Otherwise don't guess the answer and attempt. Alright, negative అప్పుడు లేకుండే.
Sir, when is the next weekend exam?
No, see, first we want to complete significant syllabus. Alright, basic maths was only very small part of the syllabus. దాంట్లో usme questions రావు, చాలా questions రావు, but that is a basic for kinematics. Once you cover kinematics, then you'll have proper weekend exams. Alright, so by then
Okay,
your bio
sir.
will be completing some significant chapter. Chemistry also will be doing significantly, and maths will also be done significantly. So you'll have all 3 mains pattern and also advanced pattern alternately. Alright, that we'll plan, but you'll have both the patterns, mains and advanced pattern. And of course Neet also. For the Neet students, you'll have Neet pattern.
Sir, what's the timing of morning session?
Sorry?
What is the timing of morning session?
Morning 5 to 7.
2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the evening.
Which subjects?
That you will get updated in the WhatsApp. Alright, even I'm not aware.
Okay.
Alright, morning
What's
timetable,
this?
you'll get updated in the WhatsApp group.
Okay.
Alright, because even I check the same thing, because I'm not the one who is designing the timetable, so I don't know. Alright, so look at this.
Okay, sir.
This area is 0. Why is it 0? Because this is negative, this is positive. If a naught were till here, then this area would turn out to be positive, because this is bigger than this. This would nullify till here, it would cancel out till here, and this would be the remaining area. But I want it to be 0. That means this triangle and this triangle should be congruent. For that to be congruent, that means if this is 2, my point of symmetry is 2. It has got a point symmetry. My point of symmetry is 2, 0. My limit should be symmetric with respect to point of symmetry. So this 0 అనుకుంటే, this should be, if this is 2, this should also be 2. That means this should be 4. A naught should be equal to 4. So option was 2. చాలా మంది 1 పెట్టారు, x is equal to 2 పెట్టారు. x is equal to 2 పెడితే ఏమొస్తుంది, నాకు ఏరియా నెగటివ్ ఏరియా వస్తుంది. All right. All I wanted you to do is plot the graph, write the answer. You can also integrate into this, which is very lengthy. All right. Now let's look at the next one. Is this clear, students? Is this point clear? I forgot the point of symmetry. Okay, let's say I give you this one. X minus 4 dx, or root 3 minus root 3 into x minus 4 dx, 0 to a naught. Now what do I do? Or root 3 into x minus 1 dx. Yeah, now what do I do? I want to find a naught. Same thing, I plot the graph. This is x. This is root 3x. Right? Because angle should be 60 degrees. Slope is root 3, no? Angle is 60. That's what. If you practice or if you revise the class, after the class for 10 minutes, that is sufficient for you to follow the next classes. 10 minutes of exercise is sufficient, students. ఈ రోజు కూడా అయిపోయిన తర్వాత క్లాస్లో ఆ 8 ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఏం చేసాము 6 ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఏదో చేసాము కదా యూ జస్ట్ క్విక్లీ సీ యూ మైట్ హావ్ నోటెడ్ డౌన్ నోట్ సొల్యూషన్ అట్ లీస్ట్ క్విక్లీ రన్ త్రూ ద ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ 10 minutes లో అయిపోతుంది అండ్ దట్ ఈస్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్ నాకు చాలా బాధ వేసింది ఇది కరెక్ట్ చేయలేదంటే all right, because when we have discussed that in detail, you're supposed to only 2 students have answered it right. That's okay. It's okay to be wrong. It's initial stages. That's okay to be wrong. I'll explain again and again. But the point is, you have to learn. You have to be serious. Don't take it things easily. Just because negative లేదంటే అందరు మార్క్ చేస్తారు అలా చేయకూడదు నెగటివ్ ఉన్నా లేకున్నా you just mark when you're confident about it. All right. So this is 60 degrees. Root 3 into x minus a చేస్తున్నాను. So f of x minus a ఏముంటుంది? I push the graph towards right by 1 unit. So I get this graph by 1 unit. I wipe this graph. I get the graph now. Now I want 0 to a naught such that area is 0. Area 0 ఉండాలంటే this area should be cancelled out by certain area here. Because this is negative, this is positive. I've got a point of symmetry for this line, which is 1, 0. My limit should be symmetric with respect to the point of symmetry. 0, a naught. ఇది 1 అనుకుంటే ఇది కూడా 1 ఉండాలి. So a naught should be equal to 2. ఇక్కడ 2 ఉండాలి. Is this clear, students?
Yes, sir.
Bhavna, is
Yes,
it
sir.
clear?
Okay. बंद करो.
Okay. Bhavna said she wasn't there for this one, all right. Fatima, Gayatri, Ashrita. Rakshit
Yes,
is
sir.
not
Okay.
here. All right, good. Now let's quickly solve the other problems. I had tan of pi minus x. What is tan pi minus x? What is tan pi minus x, students? This is my tan x graph. You can either remember the formula and do it, because if at all you don't remember the formula, graph is always there with you. Graph కూడా మర్చిపోతే ఆ circular geometry ఉంది. But you have to remember any of these. Yes, that's right. Jyoti says the answer, that's right. Now let's look at this. Pi minus x. So I'll first do pi plus x, which is moving it towards left by pi units. So this comes here. This part shifts here and becomes the same thing, which is tan x. Now I do minus of x. That means I reflect it with respect to y-axis. F of minus x. So I get this graph. Which is minus tan x. So tan of pi minus x is minus tan x. All right. Next one was ddx of x into e power x.
Sir, I can't understand this.
Okay, you were there for this class. Graphs lo unnara meeru?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you were there. All right. So we'll do one thing. I'll just quickly complete the other questions. Tomorrow we have got doubt sessions before the exam. ఇప్పుడు clarify చేస్తారు. All right, be there for the doubt sessions.
Okay, sir.
All right. Now I'll just complete the other two questions which you have. X e power x. ddx of x e power x. I use product rule. X into e power x plus 1 into e power x, which is e power x into x plus 1. That is the answer. అంతే. ఇది కూడా కొంతమంది తప్పుపోయారు. My Telugu is very bad. I'm sorry for that. But get the point. What I'm trying to say is practice. Is it okay? Is the differentiation okay? I've used product rule. First function into derivative of second plus derivative of first function into second function. ఇది f g అనుకుంటే f g అనుకుంటే f g dash plus f dash g. నాకు ఇలా వచ్చింది. That's it. I'll quickly just do one more. E power 2x. E power 2x ఎలా చేస్తారు? What is the derivative of e power 2x, students? Chain rule. E power 2x into I go inside the function now. Outside inside rule or onion peeling method. Outer level peel చేసేసాను. I have to go to the inner layer now. What is the inner function? 2x. Derivative of that is 2.
2x.
So that will be 2 into e power 2x. All right.
Yes, sir.
Students, I hope you got this one, but the first one most of the students have gone wrong. వేరే questions చేశారు, but కొంతమంది అది కూడా తప్పు చేశారు. So that is what a little disheartening. First one is symmetry based. అది మళ్ళీ చెప్తాను కావాలంటే రేపు డౌట్ సెషన్స్ లో చెప్తాను. But don't miss the doubt sessions tomorrow. All the doubts you have got can be clarified tomorrow in the doubt session hour. All right. That's all for today. See you tomorrow. Thank you, ma'am. Chandrika, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, yes, students, I have shared you the Neet link and also Neet students link and also Maths link for IIT students. You please join respectively. And Arun, sir, you please join Neet link, sir.
Ma'am, date no, ma'am. Which one, ma'am?
Neet link lo join అవ్వండి, sir. Neet students link lo join అవ్వండి. Biology class.
All right, ma'am.